have you ever been in a conversation with someone who's not listening to you? We all know that feeling. And for those of us with repetitive strain injury who use Dragon and Dictate, it can be very frustrating when you feel like Dragon just isn't listening to you. So here to help us troubleshoot these problems is our Dragon trainer extraordinaire, Alexandria Karstens from Speakeasy Solutions in Canada. Click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll know when new videos are posted.
Hi, Deborah.
Thank you so much for coming, Alexandria. I've been looking forward to this, and I don't know if it works in real conversations or not, but anything we can do to get our Dragon to listen is helpful.
People do get frustrated with Dragon, and then they want to, pitch it out the window, and we don't want that.
So what are some of the signs that your Dragon isn't operating? I mean, are there little warning signs? It's not transcribing accurately, or can you tell us what to look out for?
Yeah, definitely not transcribing correctly. That is one. So if you are accustomed to, say, achieving 99% accuracy and suddenly it goes right downhill, then obviously something's up.
Like if you know it knows a word and it doesn't do that.
So when Dragon makes continuous errors or is missing words, and I mean lots of words, so it's just not transcribing as you normally would expect it to. And when it comes to the microphone, what people don't realize is that the microphone you choose is important. Making sure it's plugged in is also important.
I have done that. I have recorded whole episodes and I didn't have my microphone in.
Oh my gosh. That's a hair pulling experience.
Live and learn. Yes.
Yeah. So exactly. And I've had clients call me up and we go through the troubleshooting and finally I have to say, is your microphone plugged in? And sometimes people get indignant. They're like, of course it's plugged in. And then I make them look and it's not. It's embarrassing, but we all do it. It happens, right? So things can get unplugged easily. So anyway, so that's something else to watch for. Also, microphones can become damaged. So especially if you have a corded microphone, it can get jammed in a drawer or something may fall on it, whatever. You can damage the internal wires. And when those internal wires get damaged, they can actually sort of touch each other in a way that is inappropriate. And that can actually cause noise, so electronic interference. And you believe it or not, you can pick up radio stations.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be freaky. Oh my gosh.
It's curious when that happens. I had that happen to me, oh my gosh, but 18 years ago, I got a microphone and I jammed it in the drawer and it bore the wires came through the plastic and got all sort of melded together. And my accuracy was awful. So what I did and what I'll show is I played back my audio. And lo and behold, I kid you not, Celine Dion was in the background with my voice. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. But it can, just like, I don't know if you ever had braces, probably shouldn't ask, but some people with braces have picked up radio signals when they're near a radio tower. So
are you kidding? I had no idea this was even a possibility, but yeah. I'm really glad you mentioned it because I'm sure people could get really freaked out if all of a sudden they're hearing Celine Dion and had no idea it was their microphone picking up some signal.
Exactly. So that's one of the things that can happen. So always inspect your microphone right from here all the way down and see what's going on. But sometimes it's not that so much as it is investigating the dictation source in Dragon itself. So people have been getting new webcams since we're in COVID times. And of course, most of us are working from home when we can. And of course, we're doing Zoom meetings. So we need to buy these microphones, or I should say webcams, which have a microphone. And suddenly Dragon goes, oh, new microphone. I'm going to use that. And you've got the headset on. What you don't realize is the webcam, which isn't as good for Dragon as the microphone, is picking up from the webcam instead of the microphone. And people just have no idea. And I had a client who was inadvertently using the built-in microphone on their computer, which was awful for about
Awful.
1 month. She was using it for about 1 month, and we hadn't had our training session at that point. The employer wanted this individual to practice on their own, and she was getting so frustrated that by the time I started training with her, she just was like this. And in seconds, I'm like, oh, you haven't even been using your microphone. So anyway.
Yeah, so you go into the settings and it says which microphone do you want to use, and it gives you a little list. So you choose the one that's not the webcam or the internal mic, but the brand that you've purchased for good quality.
Exactly. And if you go into profile, manage dictation sources right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are the two microphones that I presently have available to me on the computer. So there's my headset. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, there's my Logitech Brio, which is my webcam. And you can even see as I'm talking, they're both picking up my signal. But at this point, I'm only telling Dragon, this is the one to use. So if you get a new microphone, or you notice that your accuracy's gone downhill, first, also check to make sure that your microphone that you want to use is present. If it's not present, it's maybe unplugged or it's damaged. So you select the one you wish and then just click finish. And there we go. So now Dragon says, okay, this is the microphone you want. But one more thing to do, especially if you've got a new microphone, and that is to go into audio and check microphone. And what the microphone check does is it balances the pitch and volume of your voice compared to the background noise level. And this is something that needs to be done whenever your environmental noise changes, or even if you're in a different location. So some places are noisier than another. Because you have a laptop, right, Deborah?
I use a laptop, but only for recording. I use a desktop for ergonomic purposes when I'm.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, if you were using the laptop with Dragon around, or say suddenly you had a lot of construction outside making a lot of noise, then you'll notice your accuracy plummets. And that's also another reason for the microphone check. Really, the rule of thumb is if Dragon's not listening to you properly, after checking which dictation source is active, just run a quick microphone check.
Should you do that on a regular basis, like once a month, once a week?
Not really. You don't have to, because then it becomes a conscientious thing you have to remember to do. And I think we've got enough to remember these days. So I just, rule of thumb, if your accuracy starts to go downhill. Now, I have had a few clients who do a microphone check every day at the start of every day. And that's fine, if people want to get into that habit, but it's not overly necessary. Okay, so with the microphone check, how you read this is important. And again, this can affect how Dragon hears you and its accuracy. So the temptation is for people to click start and then just read the whole thing all the way through. The issue with that is then Dragon's not hearing the background noise level. So in order to give Dragon an assessment of the background noise, you should pause a little bit between each sentence. You don't need to. Yeah, that's the trick.
They should tell you to do that.
I don't know why they don't. Right? I don't think they ever.
Why, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we have a professional Dragon trainer here. You learn things here that you would never learn on your own.
So you don't need to dictate punctuation, and you don't have to say new line or new paragraph either. So I'm going to give you an example of how I do the microphone check. Start. I am reading this text out loud, clearly and naturally. I will continue to use this tone when I dictate with the product. Right now, I am giving Dragon a chance to adapt to my voice and audio environment. As I talk, Dragon is checking the quality of the audio input and adjusting some settings. Good audio input is essential for accurate speech recognition. To achieve high accuracy, I should maintain a consistent distance between my mouth and the microphone. And it just stops.
It stopped because it had enough.
It had enough of my voice.
Well, maybe you satisfied its requirements for hearing background noises would be a better way to
yes. Exactly. And the other thing to note, depending on the microphone as well as a person's voice and the way they speak. So if people have some speech impediments, it may take Dragon a lot longer for it to learn the background noise level and the pitch and volume of a person's voice. So if you get to the bottom of what you have to read, immediately go to the top and just start reading again and keep reading until it stops. If you've gone through it twice, then something's wrong. And that's a whole other story. But yeah, you should be able to get that under wraps for reading less than one of the panels. But if you have to read it twice, up to 2 is fine.
Well, this is so enlightening, and I'm just so happy that we're talking about microphones and good vocal quality, because people can put up with a lot of visual distortions and things that aren't quite clear, but they don't like bad audio. So
No.
And I think Dragon certainly doesn't like bad audio. It needs to hear things clearly and crisply.
Exactly. Oh, before I forget, how to play back your audio.
Oh, that's a good thing to remember. Yes.
Yes, because that is a really good source of troubleshooting. What is Dragon actually hearing? I recommend going into the Dragon pad for this. It's a lot easier. So I'm going to bring up the Dragon pad. There we go. All right. And now I'm just going to do some dictation. My name is Alexandria Karstens of Speakeasy Solutions, period, new paragraph. I am here today to give you a little bit of, it did not know my last name, period.
Huh.
What is going on, comma, Dragon, exclamation mark, question mark. Okay. All right. That actually is, that's funny. Let's see what is going on. So I'm going to highlight that manually. I've turned the microphone off, as you can see. And the reason the Dragon pad is nice is because now I can right click and choose play that back. You can't do that in Notepad or Microsoft Word. Just in Dragon pad can you right click and play that back. Now you can use a voice command called play that back. So you could do that in Notepad or Word, but the problem is if the accuracy is so bad, it may not even recognize that command. So that's why troubleshooting, do it in the Dragon pad. As it's playing back your voice, it shows you what it's been hearing at that juncture. So it keeps going. So in my earpiece, that was completely clear. Dragon just for some reason decided not to acknowledge my last name. I won't take it personally though. So anyway, so if you hear a radio station with Celine Dion or anyone else, or if you hear any kind of electronic interference. So please also note, another quick aside, there's something called dirty power that can occur in buildings, and that can affect the accuracy. So if you hear like hums, any electronic interference, it can also be indicative of where you are. And so, for instance, is your smartphone right next to your computer? And is it causing the problem? Is it the room itself? So if possible, if all else fails, move the computer to a different location and see if that makes a difference as well. So, yeah.
This is so smart. I know that having two devices will completely obliterate what you're trying to do on Zoom. It'll give you all kinds of weird feedback. But I didn't realize it could interfere with Dragon. So can you just turn your phone off or turn the volume off, or how do you, because sometimes you might need to see a text or something.
Right.
So if I just turn the phone off, like, or do I have to completely power down?
Even just moving it away. I had a client yesterday. We had the most heinous feedback going in her headset earpiece. And I said, is your phone right next to the computer? And she said, yeah. I said, can you move it across the room? As soon as she did that, everything cleared right up. So if you need to see the text message after, I guess the best thing to do would be to just hold it in your hand and find a good spot for the phone.
Dragon doesn't like competition. Okay.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
got that. Thank you so much for sharing your incredibly vast knowledge, and all these ins and outs are so valuable.
You're very
So
welcome.
thank you so much for coming in today, Alexandria. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Deborah. Thank you.